Shalom, shalom, family. I wanted to do this monthly exhortation. Excuse me. This monthly exhortation. I want to speak about the fact that Ham, the transliterated English noun, means Kim or Kemet, which is the original name of the land that we call Egypt. But before I show you that, let me show you what I found here in this website called Chariot to Heaven. The name Kemet, and it is Kemet because it's the feminine noun of the masculine Kim. That's Kem. And what you need to know is that the hieroglyphs did not have vowels like Hebrew doesn't have vowels. So let's read on here. The Egyptians, so called their country Kemet, literally the black land. Kem meant black in the ancient Egyptian. And from this point, I'll just start saying Kemetic in ancient Kemet or the Kemetic people. The name derived from the color of the rich and fertile black soil, which was due to the annual occurring now inundation. I don't really believe that because when I show you where the psalmist preserved the original name of the so-called Egyptians, you are going to have a different understanding of that. Now, that no doubt there was fertile black soil, which came about due to the annual occurring of the now inundation, but you don't you don't see the name Kemet occurring around the time that this you know the writings speak of the annual inundation. Mainly, you see Kemet in maybe the 16th dynasty and largely in the 18th dynasty. And anyone who studies Egyptology can correct me if I'm wrong there, but um, there's a lot of opinions about that. However, today I'm going to show you that the psalmist preserved the name of that land, and the Hebrews were constantly in uh, migration with the so-called ancient Egyptians. Abraham went down to that land. Jacob went down to that land. Anytime there was a famine, they went down to the land of Egypt. And so, even during the reign of the kings, specifically during the Assyrian, around the time of the Assyrian captivity, the the Israelites sought the help of the Egyptian pharaoh and the Egyptians, so-called Egyptians. So they had constant communication. Kemet was the cultivated area along the Nile Valley. The deserts on the other side of the Nile were called Deseret, which means red land. The reason why the country is called Egypt in English, and these are the French and German equivalents of the Greek name Egyptos, which is in Greek, and this led to the English term Egypt. So Egypt is from the Greek term Egyptos, which is not the original name of the land or the people in what I will now start calling the land of Kemet, or the land of Kim, or Ham. Ham. Now, let's take a look here. Kim, Kemet. I told you that T is the feminine. Um, this is the feminine of the masculine Kim. All right. And this is hieroglyphs. So the hieroglyphs look like this. This is what the hieroglyphs look like. And so what they say is this is a piece of charcoal burning to its endings, and the equivalent of this image is the K, and the owl is M. This thing that looks like a loaf of bread is T, and remember I told you T is the image or the sign for the feminine form of KM. That's why a dot is placed here. And this circle with this cross means land. It's the determinative of meaning land. There are other names that the land was called. It was called Timeri, the beloved land. But it definitely was referred to as Kemet in the 11th and 12th dynasty, excuse me, referred to it as Kemet. But it also was referred to a lot during the 18th dynasty, in which Moses was brought up under. Now, the Rosetta Stone of the 198 BC includes the Kemet, the feminine form, 3 times, and of 22 Kemi places names for the ancient Egyptians. Uh, 7 uses the hieroglyph this, referring to soil, signifying the soil of the so-called Egypt or Kemet. Uh, let's see here. What else do we need to get from here? Let's see. All right. Well, that's all that I want to show you there. Now, let me show you how the psalmist preserved the name Kemet in Hebrew. Now, in Psalms 105, verse 23, it says, Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. Now, Ham is a terrible transliteration of the actual Hebrew noun. Uh, Typically, you would see the Masoretic vowel pointings. I just took them off because in reality, Hebrew didn't have any vowels, like the hieroglyphs also didn't have any vowels. So, as you would see it here, that is how you would write it out if you were writing from the hieroglyphs into something equal to what you would see in the English alphabet. So KM means Kim, and it also is the hieroglyph for the color black, and is used to indicate conclusion or completion. You can look at Gardner's sign list. All right, the phonetic value of the hieroglyph is Kim. Kim. All right. So getting back to this, let us look at the rest of this. It says, and he came Yisrael to Mitzrayim. And this is the name that Moses gives the son, one of the sons of Ham. Okay. So Ham is the progenitor of Mitzrayim. All right. And Mitzrayim is used frequently throughout the Bible to refer to the so called Egyptians, the Kemetic people. And Yosef and Jacob, journeyed uh, Ba'aretz, which means in the land, and the dash signifies the possession or of Cham, and the Hate, the letter Hate, and Mem are equivalent to the K and M in the hieroglyphs. And let's look here. Let's go here. Look at the word, and you would see that it's Cham. That's how they pronouncing it. But there's no vowel letters in the original Hebrew, so it would be KM. It would be KM. And if we go down here, let's read this. And I want to start from here. It says the name of Egypt in the more recent Coptic tongue is written XH. I don't know if that's an MI. And in the Sahidic dialect, KH ME, words which signify blackness and heat. Now, keep in mind, like the hieroglyphs, Hebrew is a concrete language. So you gain an understanding of what things mean by the imagery that's being used, the symbolic or metaphoric imagery that's being used. So it says Ham or Ham means hot or heat or black. It is the same here with these words which signify blackness and heat, as Plutarch is observed. That's the name of the book, the chapter and page, and which is according to their Coptic etymology. And in Hebrew etymology, it is the same, in which these words here signifies black. This word hot or heat. In the hieroglyphic language, it is written with two letters KM, as I've shown you here. And this is the female form of Kim. It is written with two letters KM. Egypt is so named likewise in the Rosetta Stone, in which this word occurs more than 10 times. Lines 1 on the Rosetta Stone, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, and 13. So on the Rosetta Stone, the name Kim is used to refer to the land of the so-called Egyptians. So the Kemetic people. Kim is used for the land of the Kemetic people. And the psalmist preserves that when he uses Ham or Ham in Hebrew. It's KH and M, which also means hot, heat, or on a concrete level. Thinking about the imagery, whatever is under heat has the potential to be burned, and black is the color of anything that's burnt. And so that's what the name Ham or Ham means. Let's look at one more. Verse 26 and 27. He sent Moses his servant and Aaron, whom he had chosen. They showed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham or Chem or Kim or Kemet, in the land of Chem or Kemet or Ham. All right. So it's the same thing. It's nothing different. What is different is, why did Moses choose to use the name Mitzrayim instead of referring to the son of Ham, the sons of Ham collectively as the Kemetic people? So the Kemetic people are the Hamites or the Hamites or the Kemites. Kemites. All right. And so that's just a Hebrew nugget and exhortation. Eventually, I'm going to show you that Moses did not say that they were going to go back to Egypt in ships. Moses did not say that. Let me show you. Um, we can go to verse 68 and let me show you what Moses said now. All right. And so, and he will cause you, Yahuwah, he will cause you to return, excuse me, Yahuwah, and to Mitzrayim, not Egypt, Mitzrayim, in ships. That's what it says. And I think I also translated it, but I would have to bring it up. But in Mitzrayim in ships, not Egypt in ships, Mitzrayim. Now, one thing you have to understand is that Moses was, according to Stephen, Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. This says right here, Acts 7:22. Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and in deeds. So Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians means that Moses would have known that this is not the name of the people. Moses knew that they were called the Kemetic people. Kemet. He was in the land of Kemet amongst the Kemetic people, who are the sons of Ham or Ham or Chem, Medic. So Moses did not say that you was going to return into Egypt in ships. Moses used, rather than using Ham or Kemetic, he used a derogatory name to describe the people in which our ancestors before 70 AD was enslaved to for 200, maybe shorter amount of years, and our ancestors after 70 AD during the transatlantic slave trade was enslaved too. And they don't have to be black people. That's why this derogatory term is important for you to understand, because Moses was not pointing to a race of people. He was describing who the people were. All right. Well, that's it for monthly exhortation. And I wanted to show you that the psalmist preserved the name of the Kemetic people in using the Hebrew equivalent to Kemet or Kim, which is Ham or ham, as you find in English. Shalom, family. Blessings to you.